Coliseum on the campus of the University of Alabama in Tuscaloosa, where tonight we've got collegiate gymnastics for you. Alabama hosting Iowa State. And you take a look at the top 8 teams in the country. Alabama sitting there at number 6. Very important that the Crimson Tide stay at least that high. And welcome in, everybody. I'm Gary Harris, joined by 4-time NCAA champion Ashley Miles-Grieg. I know that always sounds great. Never gets old, does it? Very important meet tonight. It's the final regular season meet for both these teams. Senior night for Alabama. But as far as the postseason, it's very, very important for both of these clubs here this evening.
It is, Gary, for Alabama for a much different reason than Iowa State. Alabama already ranked in the top. They're a staple at NCAAs. They need to stay in the top 6 to guarantee them a #1 seed. Now, for Iowa State, they never have been to NCAA Nationals, but they always qualify to regionals. They're ranked at 30. The top 36 qualify, so they need to stay there. So they're going to take advantage of this environment here at Coleman Coliseum and hopefully put up a good road score.
So there's a lot on the line here tonight. For more on how important this meet is, let's go to the third member of our team, Hannah Chalker. Hannah?
Thanks, Gary. Alabama is using this meet to build confidence and fine-tune skills heading into the SEC championship. Coach Dana Duckworth told me last Sunday against Georgia, the team finally clicked for the first time all season. She wants to see that same team chemistry and performance today against Iowa State. She has 3 Ps for today. That's purpose, present, and play. Speaking of play, Ashley, you actually spoke to the team about competitiveness. And one thing that Coach Duckworth liked that you said you don't always have to be so nice. You've just got to want it.
And it was a pleasure to be invited as a former collegiate athlete to be able to talk to the team and about not being so nice. I didn't mean that about each other. I'm like, be nice to each other, but you can be aggressive. It's okay to want to win, and they're going to have to want it heading into the postseason.
Well, Ashley and Hannah, we're about to get started here at Coleman Coliseum. One of the great atmospheres for collegiate gymnastics in the country. Dana Duckworth likes to say the best fans in the country. Alabama, as always. Ashley will be starting off on the vault.
That's right. They're the home team, so they're starting on the vault. And one of the interesting things about the lineup tonight, we've got Winter Childers starting us off, a freshman, and then we're closing it out with a freshman as well. The vault lineup for Alabama in every lineup for all the events has been jumbled around so much, they're pretty much ready for anything.
So it may be senior night, but Alabama's freshman anchoring the vault lineup. There's the head coach of the Iowa State Cyclones. And this is a gentleman, Jay Ronayne, who has done a great job at Iowa State. Former assistant in the SEC at Auburn. But boy, he's really turned this program around and got it on a great track.
He really has. He's done a really good job. He's got one of the most talented teams that they've ever had. And I think we should see some good gymnastics tonight from them. And I think they're hoping that they can put together a really solid performance on every single event.
Yeah, that's important for Iowa State, as you said at the top. They definitely want to qualify for another regional. But in this environment, it's a great setup for the postseason. Alabama's ready to go.
Winter Childers competing the ever so popular Yurchenko full to start them off, and she does it well.
Good starts are always important. It kind of sets the tone, as you know, Ashley, as a former competitor. And everybody just kind of gets a little extra shot of enthusiasm when you get off to a fast start.
Absolutely. Iowa State lineup on bars. One of the cool things about Iowa State is they have a first-year coach. Nilson Meteros Savage is actually just returning from coaching an Olympian at the 2006 Rio Games. So look for some clean bar routines and for him to help their execution here.
Megan Sievers leading it off for the Cyclones. And again, this is an environment that Coach Ronayne is familiar with from his days at Auburn. But these gymnasts, none of them have ever been inside and competed at Coleman Coliseum.
That's right, a little short on that last handstand there for her. But putting together a good solid start. Just the dismount left, and she does get in a little bit close on that dismount, but she was able to get that landing there. Let's look at the dismount again here. Look how close she gets to the bar. She kind of hangs in there and actually has to kind of flex her feet a little bit to keep from, she could feel that she was close.
But she held on and pulled it off. Abby Armbrecht now for Alabama on the vault. 5'2" sophomore from Mobile, in-state product.
Judges are always looking for position, amplitude, and distance from the vault. Does another Yurchenko full, just a slight hop back on the landing. But other than that, not too many other deductions. Really getting that good speed into the vault. And you can see her eye in the ground there. She's looking at it, just trying to spot for that landing.
I talked to Dana Duckworth, Alabama head coach, this morning about balancing all of the pomp and circumstances surrounding senior night, all the parents here and family, and a lot of excitement with the fact that you have to go out and compete. And she says our ladies are used to it. They understand once the lights come back on, it's time to go out and get it on.
That's right. It's all about having some fun.
Let's go to the uneven bars for Iowa State, and this is Kelly Martin.
She just completed her release move there. Nice overshoot to handstand.
Check that, Madeline Johnson for Iowa State.
A little short on that last handstand there. You'll hear us talk about that throughout the broadcast tonight. At this point in the season, they want to be hitting those handstands just like she just hit that dismount. Let's take another look at her release combination. She does a giant full into a Ginger. A little bit of leg separation and doesn't quite get up to the level of the bar. In this handstand here, they want to be at 90 degrees, and she's just outside that. So they will take a little bit of a deduction.
And Kiana Winston now, junior from Fort Worth, Texas. Boy, Alabama's recruited the state of Texas well throughout the years.
They absolutely have. Kiana, one of the most exciting athletes to watch on this event. And I don't know, that was an amazing vault, but I couldn't quite tell if she stuck that landing. I think she might have just a little bit of a scoop back.
Yeah, you're a little more of a stickler than me. I thought it looked pretty good. Here it is again.
Let's check it out on the replay, see if her feet move.
Yep, you're right.
Just a little bit back, but other than that, you see how straight she is when she enters into the horse. That was amazing.
Kelsey Paz now on the bars for Iowa State. As you said, Iowa State starting off with two pretty good uneven bars routines. Maybe need to tighten up a little bit, though, if they want to get the kind of scores that they're looking for tonight.
That's right. She mounts the bar from the backside. Giant full. As you see that huge Tkachev. Transitions to the high bar. She's really putting together a good routine. A little short on that last handstand. They're going to have to fix that. Double layout. And she got that landing, but she didn't quite control it. They do look for you to control the landing, but wow, that was a beautiful double layout.
All right, you're saying they continue to come up just a little short on the handstands. How do you get that fixed?
You really just, it's all about repetition. See that combination there. Huge Tkachev. She gets that amplitude above the bar. That's one of the things they look for. But they are going to have to get in the gym and just drill it over and over. A lot of times the coach would rather you make a mistake. You'll see some athletes fall over, you know, trying to fight for that handstand.
Right. One of the Alabama seniors being recognized tonight, Katie Bailey. What a career she has had.
Yes, and just to put it into perspective, as a senior competing in this meet, there's a lot of emotions going on. This is her last time to ever compete on the vault in Coleman Coliseum. Let's see how she does. As the defending NCAA champion on this event, I'd say that was pretty good for the senior.
Yeah, and her teammates are rushing down to greet her. You saw head coach Dana Duckworth. This is solid.
That's a great way. No deductions at all whatsoever. It looks like she might have been favoring one of her angles there when she landed. But that's going to be a huge score. Coach Duckworth responding to that one. She's happy with it.
So the senior Katie Bailey coming up big. We go back to the uneven bars. Sydney Converse working for Iowa State.
Gets in a little close on that release move, but keeps the flow of the routine going. That handstand was a hit that she just did into that transition. So is that. This is actually Haley Young.
Haley Young. I keep looking at the vault lineup for Iowa State. You said don't do that, Gary, earlier. I'm bad about doing that. But
double layout, and she nails the landing. So Iowa State really feeling this environment. Sometimes it can go one way or the other with a lot of teams coming in here with all these fans. They are taking advantage of the energy and really putting together a solid bar lineup. Huge dismount double layout, a little bit of leg separation that we could see in the replay, but the judges do sit on the side of the apparatus, so they may or may not have been able to see that to take the deduction.
Nikki Guerrero next up for Alabama on the vault.
she does a Yurchenko 1.5, and when she sticks this, it's amazing. It's a blind landing. It's an extra half twist from what we've seen from all the other athletes. And she nails it. They are on fire tonight here for Alabama. She's got some of the best reactions. Doesn't quite get the amplitude that you see, but she is only 4'11". Pretty dang good there. A little bit of form in the air, but that landing, the last thing the judges see, she nailed.
We saw Associate Head Coach Brian Michelle in the background. He liked it. You mentioned Iowa State, as we're going to go back to the uneven bars and look at Hillary Green, who is from Madison, Alabama. So you know how big this is for her, but how important is it to just embrace this environment, to relax and have fun with it? We've got a great score for Alabama.
Important. That's right. You hear the crowd kind of cheering in the background while Haley's up, and she's still staying focused, putting together a nice solid routine. Hopefully she can hit that last handstand. Slight deduction there, just the dismount, and I watched her warm this up. Double layout, and comes up just a little short. But in warm-ups, she did about 6 or 7 of those fighting for the landing, so just couldn't quite get it done on that, but still a good solid bar performance from Iowa State. And you know this is so important for her to come back to Alabama tonight. She's from Madison. She's got a big crowd of supporters, friends, and family that made the trip down, and you know she's got to have all kinds of emotions tonight. Absolutely. Maddie Dash, one of those freshmen, closing it out for Bama on the vault. Nikki Guerrero went 9.95, so setting her up nicely. She's got a big vault, which is one of the reasons why she's closing out the lineup. See what she can do. Yurchenko 1.5, and she almost had that landing, just a slight step, but nonetheless, that's going to be another big score for Alabama. She gets a lot of height, a lot of distance on her vault, and the angle that she comes into the table is just perfect. A little bit of a low squat on the landing. A lot of high scores for Alabama being put up on the scoreboard here on this first rotation. Ledesma closing it out for the Cyclones on the uneven bars. She's going to go right into her release move here. A huge Tkachev. Very good bar worker as well. Short on that last handstand. She also, I believe, does a double layout. Let's see if she can get that landing. A little bit of a pike position on her double layout. She doesn't stretch it all the way out, but man, that reaction from her, she is ecstatic about that. Check out the height that she gets on that release move. The only deduction I could see there was the flex in her feet. And same thing on the dismount. A little closed, not open, so not quite straight. One rotation is in the books here tonight in Tuscaloosa. Alabama hosting Iowa State. We'll be back with rotation number 2 from Tuscaloosa. Keep it tuned right here. Ashley Miles-Greig and Hannah Chalker, Alabama and Iowa State, first rotation. Alabama with a big score on the vault, but a great score for Iowa State on the bars. All I can say, Gary, is that was a heck of a first rotation for both teams. Alabama's vault scores right there, and 9.95 from Guerrero. Got a 10 from one of the judges, a 9 from the other. That's right, Gary. She's nailed that landing. It's difficult blind. I mean, that's a very good score. They dropped a 9.825, so wow. That's saying a lot. And Iowa State off to a great start as well. That's one of their better uneven bars routines of the season. Yeah, that's got to be one. We'll have to go look at the stats, but that might be one of their highest scores. They started off one of their strongest competitors, and Megan Sievers, she went 9.85 to start them off. As we said earlier, it's a special night here at Coleman Coliseum. It's senior night. For more on that, let's throw it over to Hannah.
Thanks, Gary. Coach Duckworth told me this meet is a celebration for her 6 seniors. Her message to the team before the meet to the seniors was enjoy this moment. Enjoy the time with your parents on the A. Breathe it all in, then put your game face on and go out there and do what you got to do. And speaking of doing what you got to do, that's what these seniors have been doing their entire careers. Let's take a look back at their favorite moments here at Alabama.
My favorite moment while at Alabama was definitely winning our freshman year 2014 SEC championships. It was also new. The team was so close, and especially our senior class this year. We just got so tight during that year, and I really can't imagine going through my 4 years without them.
What I will miss most about Alabama would have to be my girls. We're really just so close this season, and every year I've been, we've just become just such great sisters throughout the years, and I'm going to miss them the most.
My favorite moment while at Alabama was definitely walking out on the A, our first home meet, just because that's literally what I've worked my whole life for, and just for that to finally come true and for that to happen and see all those fans in the crowd just was really exciting to me.
What I miss most about Alabama is the bond that I've formed with all my teammates, and just the moments we get to share both in and out of the gym and how close we've all become over the time that I've been here.
What I'm going to miss most about being a part of Alabama Gymnastics is definitely the sisterhood. I'm going to miss coming in and working and fighting side by side next to my sisters every day.
My favorite moment while at Alabama was winning SECs my freshman year with my team, because freshman year was already so exciting and new, and that was the first championship meet I've been a part of, and that team was so special. It was amazing.
Every one of these seniors has such a special story. They've also been through a lot of adversity, so looking to enjoy their last regular season meet here in Coleman Coliseum, move on to the postseason, and then turn the chapter in the book into their next phase in life. Gary.
Thank you, Hannah. Great senior group here at Alabama. Rotation number 2 coming up. Alabama hosting Iowa State. We'll be back to Tuscaloosa right after this. Coleman Coliseum, Alabama 49-5 on the vault. Iowa State a 49-2 on the uneven bars. Now they flip-flop, Alabama to the bars, Iowa State to the vault. Let's take a look at the Alabama bars lineup.
Yeah, we'll get our first look at the senior Asia Sims to start things off. And another highlight, we'll get Mackenzie Brandon back. So we'll get to see her tonight as well.
I'm Gary. Next to me is Ashley. And now let's go over to Hannah with more on the bars.
Thanks, Gary. Yeah, that bars lineup looks a little bit different this week. Keely McNear remains out after breaking her wrist in a car accident last weekend. That opens up that leading off spot for Asia Sim. She scored a 9.875 against Short Joy last week. Also, Mackenzie Brandon, this is her first bar routine back from having foot surgery. Coach Duckworth said she's finally able to land hard landings this week in practice.
Thank you, Hannah. Here goes Ledesma for Iowa State on the vault.
Yurchenko layout full. Good height, nice distance. She starts them off nice.
I really can see the enthusiasm and the excitement. You know, based on the scores that we've seen all season long, Alabama's a better team than Iowa State, but they've really come to compete tonight.
They have, and they are feeding off this energy. I mean, they're right here in front of us, and you can see it, you can feel it, how excited they are to be competing in front of this crowd.
Well, one of the great aspects of this Alabama gymnastics squad is its depth. And they have the ability to overcome injuries and can change their lineup. And Sims leading off now on the bars.
That's right. Very, very good on this event. Huge Hindorf, and you could see that she was a little far away on that, so she really had to reach, almost slipped off the bars, which is why you saw the break. So unfortunately, that will be a deduction. It's not the way you want to start off. It's not the way you want your senior to start you off, but they've been there before.
So not the cleanest routine from Sims tonight, Ashley.
Yeah, let's look at that release move again. You can see how far back she gets. She is just on her fingertips there. So she had to stop that momentum, or else she would have come flinging off and probably landed on her back. So
you don't want that.
She did the right thing.
Keep in mind, folks, you have 6 competitors in each event. You throw out 1 score. So Alabama will be looking to improve, but you will toss 1 each time. Back to the vault we go now. And Kelly Martin for the Iowa State Cyclones.
One of the taller athletes that you'll see, 5'7". Yurchenko full, and you can see the difference in the distance, you know, because of her height.
Yeah.
She was a little off center on that vault, but
you were a taller gymnast. I always think that it's an advantage myself.
Well, personally,
I know you do.
I think so as well. But the gymnastics just takes on kind of a different look, as you see there. So.
Shea Mahoney now for the Crimson Tide. And again, not the greatest start for Alabama on the uneven bars, and they'll certainly be looking to pick it up, remembering that if they can get 5 better scores than Sims, they can toss her out.
Right, this is a big test and a big challenge for this Alabama team. This meet is very close. Iowa State has obviously come here to do some good gymnastics and put up a big score. So she's going to have to turn it on and take it one skill at a time.
A little pressure now.
That's right. See how Shea does. Toe on, toe off. Shaposhnikova is what that release move is called. Nice clean so far. Nice handstand. Overshoot. You see Brian Rashilla standing in there for it. That is okay for them to do as long as they do not touch the athlete, which he didn't. Just the dismount left. Full twisting double back, and she doesn't give anything away. That's the way you come back and get the lineup going again.
So Mahoney comes up big after Sims had a little bit of difficulty. Shea really hit this routine.
And at this point in the season, that right there is what you want to see, those landings. It makes all the difference in the world. That could be the difference between a championship and second place. Lots of enthusiasm.
Kelly Paz now for the Cyclones, looking to keep it going. They're really performing well tonight here in Tuscaloosa.
Yurchenko full, and she kind of flares it out a little bit. Nice vault, good form. The only thing I could see on that was the landing.
And the head coach liked what he saw. He told us on the conference call earlier this week that, you know, he was excited about coming here. He's been here many times. He told his gymnast what it would be like. You have to experience, but he feels like they'll really, really perform well, and so far they certainly have.
And another little tidbit of information, no seniors on this Iowa State team. So all these juniors that are the team leaders are going to be back next year.
Look out, Big 12.
That's right.
Cyclones are coming. Winter Childers now for the Crimson Tide. You see her bars average on the season. She would like to get at least a 9-8 here, which is very solid, by the way.
That's right. She is more than capable of scoring 9-8 or better. And again, the pressure's still on. The first competitor up for Alabama had a mishap, so she didn't fall, but it was almost there, just as big of a deduction. Nice Shaposhnikova there. Immediate overshoot to handstand, and you see that little mishap right there. Looks like her hand just kind of slipped. So it will be a deduction, but you just got to keep on moving like she's doing. So a little unfortunate there, and a little hop on the landing. So Alabama.
A couple of hiccups.
That's right. Just watch this right here. Immediately overshoot. You see that left hand kind of slips a little bit. She has to re-grip and bend her arms there. So that will be a deduction. Not as big as if she fell, which would be a half of a point, 5/10. So Alabama really needing to tighten up.
So Iowa State here, feeling good about themselves. Sydney Converse on the vault.
Another big vault, Yurchenko full, and she was spotting the landing. Iowa State is just really, really taking advantage of competing here and doing a great job.
Cyclones taking their game up a notch here tonight in T-Town. Wow. Little step back, but all in all, very good.
And that reaction is just priceless. You see the coach there, he's really loving what he's seeing from these athletes.
So Converse with a good vault. And Amanda Jeter now. Mahoney had an excellent score at 9-9 for Alabama, but Sims, one they would like to throw out at 9.275. Childers, though, wasn't 100% clean, so Jeter really needs to jump up here and hit it.
And she has the ability to score really well on this event. She is a senior, lots of experience behind her. So let's see how she does. Nice handstand. Huge Hindorf release move there. Another handstand hit. Overshoot as she transitions, hecht right back up to the high bar. And she actually does a blind landing. She'll do a blind change into a double front. Let's see if she can get this landing. Just a small hop, that's how you do it.
Yeah, great routine. A little bit of a hop on the landing, but Alabama needed a shot of momentum and she gave it to them.
That's right. And let's see how she hits these handstands. This right here is what you want to see. Within the 90-degree angle, right on top of the bar. Double front dismount, legs glued together. Just the slightest of hops. I don't think she really gave anything away except for that.
Haley Young now, who is very enthusiastic gymnast, a lot of energy. Here she goes.
She is one of the stars of this team, as you see there. She has the ability to score 9.9 or better on every single event. And one of the things the coach said about Haley is that she is one of their leaders that leads strictly by example. She's not as vocal as some of the other girls, but she kind of like shows leads by example. You see that huge, that's going to be a big score.
Yes,
nice position, good landing, good distance.
That's going to be a terrific score. All right, Katie Bailey, who had a great vault on her senior night. You see a terrific bars score there. 24th in the NCAA. I got a feeling she's about to really come up big.
That's right.
Let's see.
One of the highlights of Katie Bailey's routine is her huge dismount, but she's got to get through all the skills first. That was a massive release move. Beautiful, nice handstand. She needs to fight for every single tenth, as this is going to be a close one after this rotation ends. Just that dismount there. Left, she comes above the bar, twist out. Just a little hop. That'll be a good one to remember as a senior. See this dismount. She's just cranking it around, full twisting, double back.
Megan Sievers anchoring the vault for Iowa State. Hannah's got more on the sophomore.
Megan Sievers has been battling bad ankles all season long. She's just the third gymnast from Iowa State to qualify for the NCAA tournament. She did it last year as a freshman. Let's see how her ankles hold up here.
That's right. The coach talked about how important the landing is for her on this vault. And she almost got it. Doesn't do the Yurchenko. She does a front pike with a half out. She flies on that. Has the ability to score very big. Let's see that landing there. That's really, really hard on the ankles.
Coach Ronayne is loving this,
yes,
man. Like I said, he's come in here many times as an Auburn assistant. Never came in here and won. But could his team pull a shocking upset tonight, Ashley? They're off to a good start.
Take it one rotation at a time. I'm sure they would love to be able to do that.
And Mackenzie Brannon now anchoring the uneven bars for Alabama.
Nice combination there. Perfect handstand. This could be another big score for Alabama. Short on that transition to the low bar, but won't be too big of a deduction. Just the dismount left. Beautiful handstand. As you see, her ankle injury coming back, finally able to take these hard landings like this for a double layout. Buckles a little bit. She's been out of it for a while, so definitely an easy fix for her. She's got the experience. That double layout you see, she doesn't quite get the rotation and kind of buckles a little bit.
So Alabama finishing up the bars. Iowa State through the vault. We're halfway through this competition, and it's a tight one. We'll be back to check the scores coming up next here from Tuscaloosa. Chalker back here in Tuscaloosa. Halfway through, we've got a tight one. Iowa State, Ashley, their high score of the season on bars. Then they followed it up with a nice vault. They're right there.
They really are. They put together an amazing, amazing performance. You see Asia Sims had that mishap. They had to actually count a 9.575 from Winter Childers. So
still, they got to 49 plus, but Iowa State coming off that great bars routine. They hit the vault and got it done there as well. You said it, Ashley. They're embracing the atmosphere here and performing at a very, very high level tonight. And there are their scores on the vault.
That's right. 9.9 from Haley Young to top off, and 9.85 Sydney Converse. Great job for Iowa State on vault.
All right, Hannah Chalker standing by with Iowa State head coach Jay Ronayne.
You guys were just talking about it, Coach. Highest bar score of the season, 49-2, and in this huge environment. How were you able to put that together?
We did a lineup change early on. It was actually, we started it last week just to try to set the tone a little better, putting Megan Sievers in the startup spot. She struggled with it last week, but she promised us that she was going to deliver tonight. So we trusted her and put her in that position. And that's kind of what set the tone for us, and everybody kind of followed suit.
We were just talking about how this is a close meet so far, and you reminded me, don't forget, we've got Beam at the end.
That's right.
That's been one of your toughest rotations all season. How do you remain confident?
Well, Beam has been really good, but it also it has been a disaster. So, we don't really know what we're going to get from him on Beam this year. It's been like that all year, but we have the potential for some really good beam. So, you know, if that's the team that shows up today, which I hope, that's going to make an interesting end to this gymnastics meet, you know, but at the very least, they're going to give everything they got.
One more rotation before you get to beam. Right. Floor next. Thank you so much, Coach.
You're welcome.
Gary.
All right, Hannah, postseason starts next week. Both these teams are ready. Halfway through this meet tonight, we'll be back to Tuscaloosa, Alabama and Iowa State on the SEC Network. Rotations here at Coleman Coliseum in Tuscaloosa. Gary Harris, Ashley Miles Greig, and Hannah Chalker with you. Alabama ranked number 6 in the country, but Iowa State battling to finish in the top 36 so that they can make it into regionals. And I tell you what, the way they're performing tonight, Ashley, they look like they're going to be in pretty good shape.
It looks like Iowa State is really taking advantage of this environment. They're on fire. Their energy is up. They're really doing some great gymnastics. I think that they're going to do that tonight.
Yeah, so far so good for them. A little bit of a buffer there for them at number 30. So it looks as though they will be going on to an NCAA regional. All right, let's get to the lineups as we get ready for our third rotation tonight. Alabama moves over to the balance beam. And we know about beam. It can be an event that leaves you just feeling great about yourself, and it can also be an event that can spoil your night. Alabama, one of the better beam teams in the country. Take a look at their lineup tonight.
Starting off with Abby Armbrecht in that leadoff position and closing out with their rock, Nikki Guerrera.
Yeah, and Katie Bailey, a late addition in for Winter Childers there at the third spot. Speaking of the beam and speaking of lineup changes, Hannah Chalker has much more on what Alabama has going on tonight. Hannah?
Armbrecht will be leading off, and this is some good practice for her. After Keeley graduates, Coach Duckworth told me that Abby Armbrecht will be the next steady rock for this team to lead off on multiple rotations, just like Keely McNear has done her career here at Alabama.
Thank you, Hannah. And of course, for Iowa State, they'll move over to the floor, and they've got the beam coming up last. That's the way it is when you're on the road. But you see Alabama right there. Ashley, we talked about it earlier. You talked to them this week. Certainly class is something that you associate with Alabama gymnastics, but you said, hey, you can be classy and still be competitive. You got to go out there sometimes and just have the eye of the tiger a little bit.
That's right, and they're going to have to do that on this rotation, Gary. They're going to have to get out there, get after it, and create some space. I mean, and really come up with a solid performance. In balance beam is a difficult place to do it, but if any team can, it's Alabama.
Armbrecht, who Hannah just talked about, leading it off. You know, some say that the balance beam are where dreams go to die. Alabama hopes that's not the case tonight.
Certainly not. Front aerial. Deep jump. Really pretty combination here. And we're so used to seeing Keely McNear lead this event off for Alabama, but Abby looking very comfortable up there in the leadoff spot as she prepares for what I'm assuming is going to be her flight series. She does a back handspring layout and nice and solid. A little smile even. Not good there. She does that sheep jump there, and her eyes actually leave the beam. So she's blind on a 4-inch balance beam. She just gets a little unsquare and comes off at the end, right before the dismount. So that's unfortunate. Another rocky start to the third rotation for Alabama. Coach Duckworth not going to be happy with that.
Yeah, much like the case on bars, where Sims got off to a slow start. Now Alabama has a fall on the balance beam. They'll have to overcome it. Iowa State's lineup on the floor. My favorite event. This is where you have an opportunity to really shine, and Madison, Alabama's Hillary Green leads it off.
That's right. Gary, this is one of the crowd favorites for obvious reasons. The music, a lot of times you get to see the personality come out for each of the different athletes. So Haley hopefully will be able to start their third rotation off a little better than Alabama. We'll see. Double pike first pass, nice and clean.
Absolutely. After this, we'll have more with this young lady. She is just outstanding. Wanting to perform well tonight at home, Ashley. And
And also, I wanted to make sure that I mentioned that Iowa State is coming off of their highest floor total of the season against Iowa, in-state rival Iowa, last week of a 49-3. So they have the ability to score huge, and she nails that second pass there. Switch side. Straddle jump full, also known as a POPA. A lot of times in the dual meet setting too, you will see the teammates on the sideline so close to the floor. When it gets down to postseason, you're out there by yourself. They have your teammates kind of corralled away. A little bit of a mishap there on that last pass. So gives a little bit away there at the end.
Hannah's got more on the Alabama native coming home, and got a lot of family members here. Hannah.
And floor state champion, of course, we're talking about Hillary Green. She's from Madison, Alabama. Her friends and family are here to support her. Her mom, Kimberly, is in the stands. Haley Young's mom is also from Alabama. She and her family is in attendance as well.
So sweet home Alabama in more ways than one for a couple of the Iowa State members. Okay, back to the beam for Alabama. A lot of pressure now on Asia Sims because Alabama had a fall to lead off with arm break, so no margin for error now, Ashley, the rest of the way.
That's right. They gave away a little bit on the bars and let this meet get a little close. So balance beam, they're going to have to take it one routine at a time. Asia gearing up for her flight series here. And she's actually doing what Coach Duckworth describes as her little guy routine. So not quite as much difficulty, mostly in her dismount. You'll see it obviously at the end. But Asia really looks composed up there. Has some of the most beautiful leaps and jumps. Her legs go above and beyond even what the judges look for. So definitely a little bit of extra credit for that in the eyes of the judges. They do look at that artistry and dance and just that back pike kick over and nails the landing. So good comeback for Asia Sims. Asia's leaps are, like I said, some of the most beautiful that you will see. Goes above and beyond. Full split there. Legs above the hips on both sides there. And she's really, really, you know, got the team going. They're proud of her for going out there and doing that after that fall.
Alabama needed a good score coming off the fall by Armbrecht, and they get it from Sims. We'll see it posted in a moment. Back to the floor now we go. Courtney Middlecoop for Iowa State. You see her floor score for the season. Ashley, how much time goes into putting together these four routines, and do the gymnasts tweak them at all during the season, or do you pretty much stay with the one you start out the year with?
You stay with the whole routine throughout the year because consistency is key, Gary. And usually in the off season, the summer months, is when you kind of get your new routine and pick your music out. It's really quite a process. So it's a lot of fun, especially in college. The routines, as you'll see from Alabama, they tend to be a lot more, you know, dancing and a lot more smiling, not quite as serious as some of the elite level gymnastics. So one of the highlights of getting to compete in college. Front through, round out back handspring, double twist, nice pass. Well within the bounds, that white tape. Got the assistant coach really, really yelling for her. She looks like maybe a little winded. 2.5 twist to end. So she nails all of her passes, stays in bounds. Not quite the most beautiful tumbling, a little bit of form here and there, but nonetheless, a solid performance for her. Let's take a look again at that first pass. Double pike, good landing. Coach really liked it.
And now back to the balance beam, and Katie Bailey, who was a late add to the lineup, replacing Winter Childers on Bailey's senior night. She's going all around now. Has had a good night so far.
She really has. I think she's embracing this being the last time she'll get to compete here. Just really having a good time, and that's one of the things you have to be prepared to do is go in at a moment's notice. That change there, and she warmed up well. There's that required full turn that Katie does with her leg extended out, hip level in front. Makes it a little bit more difficult, but adds to the artistry. That handspring layout flight series. Oh, no.
Wow, Alabama will count a fall.
They will have to count a fall on balance beam. So she'll immediately want to get back up there, leave it behind, and don't give anything else away. Nice combination there. Switch leap. Tuck jump full, beat jump. 3 skills in that combination, connects them all well. That's one of the things the judges look for.
Nice finish. Ashley, how difficult is it after you fall? And I know you have to finish the routine, but to gather yourself and get your focus
That's
back.
right. You see there, she kind of comes off that front foot, kind of hooked in. So never really had a chance. And Gary, you know, to answer your question, believe it or not, it actually can be a little bit easier because, I mean, you're not worried about it. You've already fallen. You just kind of go out of there and get out of it and try to finish the routine, which is what she did. So this just got interesting for Alabama.
Indeed, Alabama will have to count a fall, and Iowa State smelling an upset possibly, although they still have to compete on the beam as well.
Seaver's a very powerful athlete. Watched her warm up, huge tumbling. You see, we talked about her ankles earlier. She's got them pretty heavily taped, and she also has that 4-inch mat there to help pad on some of the landings, which is okay.
Megan Sievers, talked about earlier, has long lines, and very athletic.
And what a good way for Iowa State right before they go into postseason, of course Alabama as well, but to be able to come on the road in this environment and put together the meet that they are putting together, it's pretty awesome. They're really enjoying themselves. Sievers here just getting prepared for her last pass. Front full, front pike to close it out. So not as much of the big tumbling that you'll see later from Alabama, but for the most part, pretty clean.
Indeed it was. Nice floor routine for Sievers. Alabama on the bars. And here's Hannah with more on the leadership, and they're going to need it tonight, Hannah.
Yeah, Gary, freshman Maddie Desch following 2 falls on beam, and Nikki Guerrero's leadership just shined through. Her motto this season has been for her. She just went over to Maddie, patted her on the back, and said, "We have confidence in you. You can do this." Coach Duckworth also exchanged words with her, too. We will see how the freshman adapts here.
Thank you, Hannah. Desch, Winston, and Guerrero really need Ashley to post some high scores because Alabama is going to be pulled down on this event regardless because they'll have to count a fall. But these last 3 gymnasts, say they could pop 9 9s, 9 8 5s in here, could really give Alabama a boost.
That would definitely help, and every single one of these athletes from start to finish has the ability to score 9 9 or better on this event. So pressure definitely on for Maddie Desch. I don't know that there's been this much pressure in quite a while, as Alabama has been solid on. That's the one event that they have been consistently solid on the entire season.
Well, you know, when I said the beam is where Jim dreams go to die, I was just kind of kidding a little bit now. I didn't want Alabama to take it so seriously.
Well, Maddie doing a good job right now.
But it is a very tough event. That's just the reality of it. Regardless of where you go around the country, beam can make or break you. It's just the reality of it.
Yep, any coach will tell you that beam is the event that wins national championships. So if you have a group of athletes that have beam, you're already one step ahead. Dismount, she tumbles into 1.5 and goes after the landing.
So Maddie Dash gives it a little roll tide.
Let's look at that dismount again. It's a little unique. Back handspring layout, back handspring 2 feet into a 1.5. And you can see the relief on Coach Duckworth's, in Coach Duckworth's reaction right there. She is happy that that routine stayed on and was solid.
And now for Iowa State, Kelly Paz will try to keep it going for the Cyclones.
Coach told us that she is one of the team's more vocal leaders. She's kind of, you know, get in your face loud, pump everybody up athlete. Double tuck opening, almost, she stayed inbounds. That white tape, the border, if you step over it, it can be a 10th deduction. She got pretty close, but was able to stay in on that first pass.
She's an Iowa native from Sioux City, junior.
Full front layout, nice clean middle pass.
Getting into it a little bit, Ashley.
She really is having a good time out there, showcasing her routine. Some leaps and jumps there. Just the last pass to go. This could be a pretty good score for Iowa State. 1.5 twist, nice landing. And what a routine from her. She
Take a look at this final pass again.
She ends with a front 1.5 twist, also known as a Rudy. Nice, clean, solid landing.
We'll go back over to the beam, and Alabama trying to rally and post the best score possible after a couple of falls, one of which the Tide will have to count. Now, Winston has been clutch throughout her career here at Alabama. The junior has come up big many, many times, and she'll need to right here.
She has, and her season high on the balance beam is a 9.95, so if that tells you anything about her scoring potential. Again, just like Asia, some of the most beautiful leaps and jumps, as you see here. Split jump, straddle half, nice and solid. And she really does a good job in the choreography of showcasing her flexibility as well. Front aerial, immediate back handspring, nice combination, no break between it, so she'll get all the bonus for that. The required full turn, every athlete will do that in some form or another. Just a dismount, a more difficult dismount, double tuck, and that's how you nail a landing.
Are you telling me, or what? Wow.
That's
with
right.
all the pressure, and she really, really stepped up.
You can see that right there, this dismount, round off, double tuck, one of the cleanest ones, legs glued together, and you see Coach Duckworth's reaction. She is all about that landing right there.
Dana.
So they're getting it going. These last 3 performers needed to hit, and so far so good
Hey,
for
you
Alabama.
see the signs. Of course, that's the home fans waving the 10s. Is she close there?
She definitely is going to have a big score there. They could give it to her.
That would be a shot in the arm for Alabama. Meanwhile, this Iowa State team just continues to perform at a high level tonight as we go back to the floor.
Another big opening pass, double pike, nice and clean. Another big roar from the Alabama crowd for Kiana Winston's score. Fun second pass there, jam-packed with all types of skills.
Brianna Ledesma here. Trying to keep it going for the Cyclones.
Switch sides, straddle jump full. Those jumps and leaps in the floor routines just as important as the tumbling. It's kind of a martial arts themed routine, I think, a little bit, Gary.
It is.
She's out there fighting. Gearing up for her last pass. She's really going hard into it. Double tuck. And
fun routine. I enjoyed
it really
that.
was.
Oh, different.
Very different. Very different.
Here's the final pass
Take
again.
another look, and she was really, really running full speed into that double tuck to get that all the way around, and very well executed.
Winston did flirt with that 10. She pulled a 9.975 on the balance beam when Alabama really needed it. And now they'll turn to Guerrero.
So that's a new season high for Kiana Winston on the balance beam. And if anybody in this beam lineup has the ability to score a perfect 10, it's Nikki Guerrero. And I believe a few weeks back she deserved it and didn't get it. So maybe she can get it tonight.
Maybe Karma will smile on her if she hits this routine. She's got the routine for it. If she hits it, there's always that possibility. You're right, Ashley.
Absolutely.
Skill level is there. The difficulty level is there. It just comes down to execution.
3 flight series here by Handspring. Layout, layout,
nice.
Solid. And I think I watched her do 3 or 4 in warm-ups every time, just like that. She's definitely one of those athletes that could vie for winning a national title individual on this event. She's that good.
Absolutely. Hannah talked about Alabama's character where, well, it is showing now because after a couple of falls, they are finishing with a flurry, it looks like, on the balance beam. Ready for dismount.
They really are making up some ground here. Let's see if she can get this dismount 1.5 blind landing. And she nails it once again. And Nikki has some of the best reactions. Let's take another look at her flight series. It's one of the most difficult ones that we'll see competed in college gymnastics by Handspring. Layout, layout, perfect. Nice and square over the beam. And on that dismount, blind landing 1.5. She spots it and doesn't move an inch.
Wow. Alabama fighting back. Yeah, they're wanting the 10s here in T-Town. I guarantee you that. Haley Young, who is a dynamic gymnast in her own right, well, she's right around pushing 9.5 on the season, or 9.9, I should say. Would love to hit a 9.9 plus here.
There's that big full in. Lands just a little short. You see she was really trying to get her momentum into that first pass. Full front layout. Having fun out there, showing her personality, showing off this routine and the choreography. Nice jump leap combination there. Alabama fans that kind of into this routine as well, really enjoying this.
Yeah, it's nice. It's well done.
Haley has the ability to score really big on this routine. Ends with a double pike. That's the level of difficulty that we're going to see from Alabama as well. Very nicely executed for Haley outside of that first pass. We'll look at that first pass again. She does a full in, a full on the first flip, back out, and you see just a little bit lagging getting that around. But on that last pass, double pike, no problem. Pulls it around, nice landing, spots it. Should be a pretty solid score.
Well, Iowa State wanting to make sure they finish in that top 36. I like their chances. They look good tonight. We got ourselves a doozy. We'll head to the final rotation. Check the scores for you coming up next. 0.45 with 1 rotation to go. Alabama's problems on the balance beam, Ashley, that's why they're behind so far tonight.
Absolutely. And then third up, Katie Bailey comes up on the flight series. So some issues for Bama on beam, but they are going to floor.
Well, you always like to be tested going into the postseason. Alabama getting tested tonight. Here's Hannah with head coach Dana Duckworth.
Coach, follow 2 fall.
We dug ourselves a hole, and it is what it is. And so you can't worry about what's happened. You got to look at the next second, something we preach and we've practiced a lot. We're a great floor team. We're a great everything team. And I think we started off so strong, and I think just things are not our way. And so what we need to do now is we need to focus on creating the energy with this awesome crowd. We need to do our job on floor, have fun, and light it up.
And these seniors, they're about to have their very last performance here in Coleman Coliseum. I know the emotions are going to flow after the meet, but how excited are you to see them perform one last time?
I just want them to go out there and do what they love. And if they love what they do and they choose to have fun, then they're going to do amazing things.
Thanks, Coach.
Thank you. Roll Tide.
Gary.
Thank you, Hannah. Coach Duckworth said it all. I can't worry about what's happened. You can only look forward. Alabama looking to come big, up big on the floor. They'll need it tonight if they're going to defeat Iowa State. We'll be back with a final rotation here in Tuscaloosa right after this. Score, Iowa State leading Alabama with 1 rotation to go. Gary Harris, Ashley Miles-Grieg, and Hannah Chalker with you from Coleman Coliseum. And Alabama had its problems on the beams. One lady that's not had a problem tonight has been Kiana Winston for the Crimson Tide, Ashley. She has been marvelous.
She really has, Gary. Time and time again throughout the season, she has come through with some big scores. You see her there on the vault, Yurchenko full. Just nice, clean, good, solid gymnastics and consistent. See this landing here on this double tuck, just nails it.
Yeah, she has hit tonight, but again, a couple of miscues on the balance beam has Alabama in some trouble. But as you heard Coach Dana Duckworth say, got to move on to their best event, which is the floor, and Iowa State now has to deal with the balance beam. Those beam scores for Alabama, not what they would want. But I want to say this, after the 2 falls, they really picked it up there at the end.
They really did. The last 3 competitors that needed to hit and be solid did and came up big for Alabama. So they're going into floor, which is a huge, huge event for them. They dropped that 9-3. They can definitely do better than that.
Winston and Guerrero, though, coming up big. Iowa State on the floor just really kept doing what they've been doing all night, and that was just hitting solid routine after solid routine.
That's right. They came in here, and they're enjoying themselves. They're putting together, I think, what's going to end up being the meat of their lives if they can hit beam, Gary.
Yeah, well, this is the first time as we look at their floor scores that we've seen them. But based on their scores this year and based on their number 30 ranking, I have to believe this is the best they've looked all year.
Yeah, key there on that floor score for Iowa State, no 9-9. So they did not break that 9-9 benchmark. Alabama can do that every competitor, and they're going to need to in this last rotation.
Well, one reason Alabama wants to really be strong tonight is because next up for the Crimson Tide, it's the SEC Championships in Jacksonville, Florida. And look, you want to be in that top 4 to guarantee that you'll be in the second session. That's where you want to be. And Alabama certainly in good shape, but they'll want to finish out strong tonight.
They absolutely need to, Gary. They need to be in that evening session, and to do that, they're going to need to hit floor right now.
So the pressure is on the Tide here in Tuscaloosa. Pressure's also on Iowa State, though, because they have to go to the balance beam, and Kelsey Paz will lead it off for the Cyclones, followed by Johnson, Severs, Converse, Diaz, and Young.
When we talked to Coach about her leading off beam, she is what Keely McNear is to Alabama on this event. She likes going in that first spot. She's very, very consistent, and she also has the ability to score pretty big on this event as well. Sometimes the coaches can struggle with putting an athlete that has high scoring potential, as she has a little bit of a bobble there, first in the lineup, but she seems to embrace it, and it's worked for them. That handspring layout, solid on that flight series, so coming back from that little bobble.
As we saw with Alabama, Ashley, obviously you want to hit, but the most important thing is to stay on the balance.
That's right.
First and foremost.
Yes, it is, Gary. That sheep jump there. The eyes leave the beam. That's the same skill that Armbrecht came off on. Kelsey stays nice and square and nails it. Front full, simple dismount, nails it. So good start for Iowa State on the balance beam.
Coach Ronayne looking on, knowing that if his team can keep this up, they'll have a chance to pull the upset.
Right, you see the dismount there and coach's reaction to that. He's happy with that start. Very happy with that start for this team.
Leading off on the floor for Alabama, Ari Guerra.
Ari Guerra now leads it off on the floor for Alabama. It's important that the Tide get going early. She'll be followed by Guerrera, Jeter, Desch, Bailey, and Sims. But right now, all eyes on Guerra. You know, it's like the leadoff hitter in baseball. This is where it all starts.
That's right, and tonight, Gary, it's ever more important that she get this team started off strong on one of their best events. Double tuck opening pass. Not the cleanest landing, a little bit of balance there. So the judges will take a little bit of deduction. They want to see control on all the landings. One and a half twist, front layout. That's the kind of landing, that nice, clean, controlled landing. Just gearing up for the last pass. She opts to do a more difficult, actually, double pike last. Nice, clean landing. Coach Bashilla, both hands up. Fist pumps for that close for this routine.
So a strong finish, Ashley, but she did have a little balance issue early on.
That's right. On the, like I said earlier, you want to see controlled landings on these passes. You see here a huge open double tuck, and she gets that, but then she kind of stumbles out of it a little bit. I think maybe a little bit of excitement is what that really was.
Adrenaline, maybe.
On the balance for Iowa State, MJ Johnson.
Madeline Johnson now for Iowa State. And, you know, if they stay on the beam and are solid, they can make it tough on Alabama.
Absolutely, Gary, which is exactly what Iowa State would love to do. And they got a good start. Let's see if Madeline can keep that going for them. Flight series, back handspring layout, nice and solid there.
Madeline goes by MJ. From North St. Paul, Minnesota.
And she really does kind of have a calmness about her routine up there. She seems like she's really settled in, nice and calm. Oh.
Couldn't hold on.
She couldn't hold on. I think she just jumped up from that just a little too quick. Didn't quite finish the skill before she started to move on. So a little bit of pressure building for Iowa State as their second person comes off the beam.
Well, we've talked about the beam a lot tonight, and we're seeing exactly what it can do. Now, remember, that score can be tossed. The key is not to fall twice.
Yeah, can't give anything extra away. You see here on the fall, she kind of she wasn't quite settled, went to stand up, and then just it all kind of unraveled there. You see, she couldn't bring her gravity, her center of gravity over to the top of the beam. So unfortunate there. That's probably that's the first mishap we've really seen from this Iowa State team tonight.
It is. She fought to hold on there, but it is called the balance beam for a reason. Once you lose your balance, that thing's only 4 inches wide. As I often say, if you don't think it's tough, just try to walk from one end to the other.
Now get ready to see some personality from Nikki on this routine.
Nikki
it's a
Guerrero.
Really fun routine. She actually is just doing an easier double pike to open up. She has the ability to do a full in, which adds a full twist to that first flip. Switch sides, shadow jump full. Alabama really having fun with their choreography this season. 1.5 twists, front full. Very difficult pass combination there. And one of the things that's fun about Nikki is she's so small, but she's so powerful. So it almost looks as if she's walking into her tumbling passes. Rudy, front 1.5 twist.
That was strong.
And that's what Alabama needs to continue to do in this floor rotation.
She's fired up.
Yes, she is very intense. She has that fire. Second pass, 1.5 twist to a front full, very well executed. Moves right out of it with the dance.
And now Iowa State, like Alabama, competing from here on out on the beam, under pressure, knowing that a second fall could really doom them in terms of winning this meet. Megan Sievers, though, who is a clutch gymnast for this squad, will try to come up with a big score right here.
That also being one of the things that all these teams that compete prepare for. You know, if the competitor in front of you falls, they give them that scenario in the gym. You know, what are you going to do? So far, she seems to be handling it just fine. Moving through this routine nice and steady. Side aerial there. Shuttle jump quarter. Just the dismount remaining. She'll do a front full. Big hop on the landing, little deduction there, but she stays on. It'll still be a solid score.
Another look at the dismount. Ashley, you said a little step, but stayed on the beam. That's the most important thing.
She did, and once again, you know, back to her ankles, those landings are really, really hard on them, but there, that front landing doesn't put quite as much pressure, so not as many sticks as they would like to see from her.
All right, Amanda Jeter, what do you like about her floor routine?
Just because she has, opens up with an E-level pass, Arabian double front, and it's really big, and she executes it well. Here we get a chance to look at that double Arabian. Nice landing. Earlier in the season, she was kind of getting real squatty on those, but not on that one.
Oh.
Good landing.
Stood up tall.
And she's also a senior, so this is actually her last routine ever to compete in Coleman Coliseum. One and a half twist, front full, and she dances right out of it. Right there in front of the team. This last pass, she's put together a very clean, solid routine. This could be a big score. 1.5 front layout, nice clean landing. A little off balance there as she transitions, but good, solid. She didn't give anything else away.
Yeah, might have an opportunity to better her average score tonight, because that looks like a 9.8 plus to me. Senior night, Ashley, we talked about it at the top, but it's not a normal night. Like you said, for these seniors like Amanda Jeter, this is it. Last time they're going to perform in this building.
That's right.
Controlling those emotions, it's got to be tough.
And you have to kind of just put it in perspective. You know, they did the march out where they were presented, you know, with their parents, honoring them on senior night, but then after that, it's back to business.
Back to business on the balance beam. Sydney Converse for Iowa State.
And Again, trying to make sure that she stays on the balance beam to make up for that fall and that 9.025 they hope to drop. Little balance check there, but not much at all. Very small deduction they'll take. Front flip there. Her teammates, you can just feel them really willing her through this routine. Cartwheel into a 1.5, a little off center and a hop, but she stayed on, and that's really what they need to do.
Absolutely. Iowa State showing some grit, toughness, and determination here. Staying on that beam after a fall.
They're putting up solid scores, and Alabama making up some ground with some pretty big scores.
All right, we're talking about the seniors, but what about the freshmen trying to come up big on senior night? Hannah?
Entire Alabama freshman class are captains tonight. They actually wrote quotes to the seniors, and Maddie Desch's success isn't just what you accomplish in your life, it's about what you inspire others to do. So very nice note to the seniors. The juniors on this team also were responsible for giving the seniors their gift. It was a picture book full of memories from their time here.
Thank you, Hannah. And Ashley, you know you've been here as a freshman and as a senior. When you're a senior, you want to make memories, and when you're a freshman, you want to help the seniors make some positive memories. And that's what she's trying to do right here.
Absolutely. And she's doing a really good job. Maddie has a really fun routine. Lots of combinations, as you saw that jam-packed second pass there. Ring. Really needs to get a good landing here. Poses with a double tuck. Just comes down perfect on that one.
I'll tell you what, Hannah talked about Desch and what she's capable of, and yeah, Dana Duckworth's loving that. I'm telling you something.
Yes.
We talked about how determined Iowa State has been. Alabama showing some determination. Let's take a look at this final pass.
Yeah,
she really came up big.
Really did come up big here. Just dropped right down into a perfect landing. No deductions to be had on that, and you see Coach Duckworth's reaction. She is liking what she's seeing for this team closing out this meet.
And Alabama posting some really good scores on the floor, so Iowa State needs to finish with a flurry here on the balance beam if they're going to pull the upset here tonight in Tuscaloosa.
And Cassandra Diaz is actually the only freshman for this Iowa State team that is competing in their lineup. So and this is the only event that it does. So kind of a specialist on it, as you can see why there. Solid flight series.
No seniors on the Iowa State roster, so I don't guess they had a senior night, huh?
They sure didn't. And you can see the nerves a little bit, and she's waited this entire competition. This is the only event she's doing in the last rotation, so she's kind of had to sit with it the entire meet. Side aerial, full twist, doesn't give anything away on the landing.
Coming right down to the wire here in Tuscaloosa between Alabama and Iowa State. Coach Ronayne said earlier to Hannah, he said, you know what? Beam has been very good to us, and at times it's been awful. Tonight it's probably a little bit in between. We'll see if it's going to be good enough to get them a victory, but Alabama really battling back on the floor, and they're going to close out with a couple of their seniors, Bailey and Sims, and Bailey, who fell on the balance beam, will be looking to make amends right here.
That's right. She would love to go out with a bang here in Coleman Coliseum on her senior night. Really fun routine. Nice, clean gymnastics, as always, from her is what we should expect to see. She opens up with an Arabian double front, and the thing about her tumbling that's so fun to watch is it's like she just falls out of the sky. Like she lands so light on everything. Front layout, front full. Another solid landing. Switch ring. Having a little fun there in the choreography.
That's what I like to watch when they go over there in front of their teammates, and their teammates are doing the routine along with them.
That's right. You get to know. You see them so many times. And this is a huge routine. I don't really see any deductions, Gary, in this. So this could be a big score for Katie Bailey.
Alabama answering the bell on the floor. Hannah's interview with Coach Duckworth was so telling because you could see she was a little frustrated, but she said, hey, we're going to turn the page. Floor is a great event for us, and it has been. And Bailey was, I can't say perfect, but she was pretty doggone good.
Right. As we get another look at the last pass she'll overdo here, 1.5 front, also known as a Rudy, just falls out of the sky and lands perfectly.
Meanwhile, back to the balance beam for Iowa State, and Haley Young, who is clutch for this team, has been all year. She would love to hit a season high score right here on the beam.
RQS of a 9.85, so as you see there, nice solid flight series by Handspring Layout. And she's a very, you can see just in her movements, a pretty aggressive beam worker. Nice combination there. Really going after every single tenth. Side aerial. Teammates loved that. And she just has her dismount left. See if she can get the landing. Double twist. Good job for the junior. Teammates really excited about this whole meet. You can just see right there the reaction from all of them. They're just loving it. See the replay here. That nice solid side aerial. And she was actually slightly off on that, but she covered it up and moved right through. And the reaction of the team and Haley on that is so telling. They know that they did a good job here tonight.
And Alabama will wrap it up with another of the team seniors. Asia Sims in the anchor position on the floor, and you're about to see why. She can really, really work it in this event.
Yes, crowd favorite for obvious reasons. This is such a fun routine, and she really has a fun time competing it. Let's see if she can nail her passes. Double pike to open up. There's those beautiful leaps and jumps. Getting into this a little bit. And we even have the Iowa State team over here watching Asia as well, enjoying this routine. Good second pass, nice landing. Double tuck last pass. And she'll close it off. That was awesome.
Unique style, charisma.
Yes.
You saw it all right
and
there.
And you see
Ashley.
even the Iowa State team over here chanting 10 along with the rest of the crowd. for Asia Sims on that routine.
I want to see it. I think she got it. It's all in the judges' hands, and we know they don't give those out very often. But, you know, you've got a much more educated eye than I do, obviously. But where's the deduction there? I mean, I didn't see one.
Well, we got one judge that gave her a 10, one at the 9.95, so it'll be another 9.975. But amazing, amazing routine. You can kind of see the realization setting in there as you rewatch your second pass. And that could be, if any deduction would be taken, it would be in that pass, a little bit of the leg separation there on the turn, but nothing else anywhere. I mean, double tuck, you see the last pass there. She closes that off so solidly. But I guarantee you she's not disappointed with the 9.975.
I know, but it looked like a 10 to me, and I wanted to call it. I called it a 10, and one judge agreed with me. All right. It's in the books. We'll be back with the final score from Tuscaloosa. It's been a heck of a night. Keep it tuned. Back with results right after this on the SEC Network. Here tonight in Tuscaloosa, Iowa State with a tremendous score, Ashley, as you see it there on your screen, but Alabama rallies on the floor to post the victory.
They did, Gary. It was an exciting meet tonight for both teams. Alabama came on strong in that last event, and Iowa State, like I said, posted a season-high score here in this environment. So great meet tonight.
Coach Dana Deckor said earlier Alabama would have to look ahead to the floor, one of their best events. They got it done. Hannah standing by with the Alabama head coach.
Coach, Asia Sims putting the cherry on top of the regular season here in Coleman Coliseum. One judge gave her a 10. How exciting was it to watch that performance?
I'm so proud of not only Asia, but all of the team that literally dug us out of a hole. And I mean, that performance on floor was what we're made of. And that was a lot of fun.
You needed a 197.1 or better to improve your RQS. You got that exact score.
What are you really? I didn't even know what our score was. All I know is that we had a really great start, and we'll learn from this. And it was probably one of those things where we're just going to have to look back and say, okay, how can we get better? And just prepare us for next week.
How does this prepare you for next week for the SEC Championships?
Mental toughness. Mental toughness. You got to love all this flip. I'm so proud of these seniors. Yes, there was emotions involved, but the things that happen are very fixable. And so we just got to go and do those things and just trust our preparation.
Thank you, Coach. Go celebrate with your team.
All right, Hannah and Coach Gary Harris, Ashley Miles-Grigg back with you. We talked at the top about how important this meet was tonight for these two teams heading into postseason. And I got to tell you, this was one of those meets, Ashley, where I think both squads reached their expectations tonight and got a lot out of this. Both have to feel really good about what happened here tonight.
Absolutely, Gary. I think what Alabama probably got out of this meet was, like Dana was saying, Coach Duckworth, they dug themselves out of a hole. And going into the postseason, that's what you want to know, that you can do that. As far as Iowa State, they came in here on fire from the first rotation to the end, got a season-high score. So kudos to them for improving their RQS tonight.
And for Alabama, let's not forget, it was senior night. A lot of emotion shown out there on the floor because they wanted to finish this out for the seniors, and indeed they got it done. So Alabama gets the victory tonight. A great meet here in Tuscaloosa. So, all right, so for Ashley Miles-Grigg and Hannah Chalker, I'm Gary Harris saying so long from Coleman Coliseum in Tuscaloosa, Alabama. The final score, Alabama wins it tonight on senior night, 197.1. Iowa State with their season-high score, 196.6. To watch this entire game on replay, as well as other games and meets on our family of ESPN networks, log on to WatchESPN.com or download the Watch ESPN app. This has been a presentation of the SEC ESPN Network.